This time I've got a Sony SLVR1000. The complaint on this one is that the front loading mechanism isn't loading. So we're going to take this one apart and see why, and see if we can get this one operational. Let's check it out. This was Sony's second Super VHS consumer deck after the SLVR5, and very sought after due to its superior picture quality for Super VHS playback. The complaint on this one is that the cassette elevator is not working. Seems like it's halfway loaded down. So before I even plug this one in, we're going to pull the cassette housing out and take a look at it. And see whether it's out of time or whether there's any broken parts. This one does not have the blue gear broken that I can see. Everything seems to be intact here. I'll let you in on a secret. It's not the loader. The problem is clear as day right there in that shot, but we'll take a while to find it. So I'll lift the front panel off. And we'll take a look at the front loader and see whether there's any fault with that can be resolved. Take a close look at the supply hub. These always come out too, every time. Okay, so now I've got the front removed. I'm going to remove the loader assembly so that I can inspect that. Determine whether it's just a timing problem or whether there's actually some gears that have broken. So 4 screws, and the front loader will just lift out. Now we can check the timing, check the gears on here. So it's going to put the main chassis out of the way for now. These front loaders are actually not bad. They didn't have a lot of problems like some of the earlier ones did. So it's entirely possible that it's just out of alignment. Now, don't get me wrong, there is a problem with this. Plastic. There's a problem with the front loading mechanism itself. It is out of alignment, but the reason it's out of alignment is because the catches and the supply hub is sitting too high. Like maybe a tape had something stuck in the supply hub, and when it ejected, it lifted it, it stuck to it and pulled it out of the chassis. That's what I think. I'll figure that out once I put this back in, and it's going to hit it, and then I'm going to see. Okay, now I can see what's going on with the loader. Press both the latches in and run the loader through its motion. That seems to be okay. Spring works over here, and the same as on the other side. Let's run our mechanism back up to the reset position and check the timing. I don't see any broken gears, which is good. Okay, what about the side cam? This is the one that operates everything, and sometimes we get out of alignment. So to align this up, there's 2 holes on the side. They line up with the 2 holes in the gear when we're in time. If we look through here, we can see if we put the screwdriver right through it. Well, maybe not that one, but a smaller one we can certainly put through like that, okay? So that's timed correctly. So now if I snap this back on with the mechanism in its unloaded position, you know it's in the unloaded position because there are gears, there are holes in the gear here that lines up with a hole in the chassis below, right down here. So if you can see through there, you know that it's in the correct position. There's another one over here, there's a hole here that lines up with another hole behind here. So if that's in the correct position, then we know that the mechanism is straight. We line up that timing mark and put the assembly back on, and what will line up is this timing mark here, which looks through that timing mark on that gear, will also line up with this timing hole right there. That's how you know that you're timed. All three will line up, push it together, snap it together like that. And now if I release the catches and turn the mechanism, it will load. I keep releasing these catches because there's 3 positions that they latch in, and now it will complete the loading cycle. And if I turn the gear clockwise, it will eject. And we notice that the lid did open while I did this. So the mechanism has now been retimed. Let's put it back into the chassis and see if that fixes the problem. And that very well may be all that's wrong with this one. The 2 black screws go into the back, and the 2 gold color screws go up front. Grab the front cover, reconnect the controls, and then just push it straight on, just like that. Alright, now it's time to test. See whether it works. Turn on the TV, connect it up to the audio and video outputs on the back. Super VHS tape. Okay, it looks like my catches aren't being released here. Let me just take a look and see if they're bent. It might be the metal catches aren't releasing far enough, because if I pull these forward by hand, it will drop, I'm sure. Well, that's weird. It operated when I had the mechanism out of the machine. Why won't it drop with the mechanism in? Is it hitting something? I have to investigate. Well, this may be a little bit more serious. Take a look at the supply hub. That pin is up. Maybe that's all it was. It just needs to be secured. It might be cracked from below. That's my concern. It's hitting this hub. That pin was sticking up a little too high, Now it's not. And the machine is playing. Otherwise, we're getting some trouble. But it is now playing. So why that hub came up like that? Either it got stuck against a tape. It might have been a tape that had something stuck in the hub, or a deformed hub, and it pulled the supply side hub up with it. Fast forward. Rewind. Yeah, it's working. So rewind it back to the beginning. So what I'm thinking is possibly something was jammed in here, or the hub was damaged and it got stuck to the supply hub, and when it ejected, it pulled it up because the pin was actually pulled up with it. And that shouldn't come up. It's actually got a plastic bracket on here too, but this was up and it was loose, and basically all I did was I just pushed the pin back down, and the pin is now set. So I don't know whether the plastic below there is damaged or not, but it doesn't appear to be. It's not any more loose than this other one. So I think that may have been all that was the problem. Worst case scenario, because how these are attached is they're attached into a plastic base on the chassis. Kind of like this right here, right? So the pin sits through. That one doesn't have a pin in it, but it's like that. It's a base like that in nylon. And what sometimes can happen is it'll crack, and then when that happens, typically the reel just falls apart because the base breaks off. And I don't think that's happened here because it's not loose. But the pin in the middle was sticking up. You guys probably saw it on video before I pushed it down. I think I even got the shot of me pushing it down. But that was sticking up, and what was happening was it was actually hitting against the bottom of the tape cassette housing. It was hitting right here, and that was stopping it from going in. So I pushed that back into position, and now it's working. And I guess it caused the gears to get out of alignment, because this definitely was like stuck halfway and wouldn't move until I took it apart. So that is working. So I'm going to leave it, call it a day, and leave it at that, because I don't see anything else really that's wrong with this one. We'll do a head cleaning on it and the more general maintenance stuff, and call this one a day. And a little bit of dirt on there. We'll clean the other heads with a Q-tip. I'm going to let a tape play through on here for a while, make sure everything's still working good on it, and that there's no issues, but I don't anticipate any. There we go. That one's all done. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.